It's just a normal day with technology for myself. Yes. Sorry, I'm late for everybody that is here live. Again, new computer. You guys would not believe this. And we're going to make this really quick. The last computer that I just bought, you might have been like, I thought he just bought a computer. Yep. Brand new, $3,000. Motherboard was bad. So we had to go swap that out, get another one. First one here. And we're rocking and rolling. But we are going to break down the markets in general tonight. I want to talk about something. Is it time to buy the dip or not? I kind of think it is. I did buy some SPY calls. I want to go over that here in a little bit. I think we're packed on fear right now, which does make me kind of want to buy. I don't think we're there yet. I've been talking about a crash that's going to happen this year. I just don't think it's here now. I think a lot of people have kind of been parroting that and saying it, and I'm kind of curious if we just sell this thing off, get all the bears roped in, and then send it up one more time. As of right now, dollar is pushing. Now, I'm actually long the U.S. dollar, Japanese yen, which is why it's broken. We got now. My long position triggered right here at the end of this green wick right here. So I was short, but we went into this zone based out, which tells me we're probably get the continuation. I had a stop loss to get out of my short position and go long right here. So it jumped up, it triggered. It's down right now, but I do think we get the continuation up. What? Oh, this is the SMA? Hang on, I got to see what indicator this is. The 50 SMA. Let's talk about that. All right, Bitcoin. The Bitcoin. I know a lot of you guys are worried about that. Bitcoin's doing a whole lot of literally nothing. Now, whether you have my zones or not, maybe you guys were in panic mode, but if you have these random boxes that someone draws, myself, these are not an indicator. These are things that I draw, again, looking supply and demand, looking for buyers and sellers. All we've done is we've come down here and we've bounced. And a lot of people are talking about how many times we bounced. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Had you bought Bitcoin for the last 6 times, you would have made money had you bought it and trailed it. I do not trade Bitcoin. All I do is I buy it every week. It's panned out pretty well so far. I don't care about the 50 SMA on that. This was an indicator somebody brought up on a previous stream. We might use it when it comes to the S&P. For anyone that is new here, I don't use indicators at all. I need to turn that noise off. That's going to be noisy. Well, I'll have to figure that out here in a little bit. Sorry for the Discord noises. Nothing I can do. All right. Bitcoin. I think I'm bullish right now. I think we're going to stay in this range. I guess we'll see how we do at this 97, 98,000 range. I wouldn't mind it getting all up here again to this 102 range. But that's all it's done. It's just kind of hang out in this range. We had a tightening range right here. We did get above it, so let's make this just a tad bit brighter. I'm not changing the colors. The colors do have a meaning. Let me ask you something real quick. I'm thinking about making one of those mouse pads. You've seen them. It has all the chart patterns, but I also want to put a key on there that tells you like the colors of all the zones and what they mean and the lines. Is it? Should I just make one for myself because I think it'd be cool, or should I make a few of those? Just let me know. Anyway, so let's see if it breaks above this 99 level. From 92 to 99. If we get to the 103, there's kind of 2 ranges inside here. I think we make. I do think we make a run for it. What'll be, I guess, the main point, the one key takeaway from this: we rejected this zone one more time. Now we're going to start talking about that's a lower high situation. So if we come into this zone and reject lower high, now I got to start questioning how many times we're going to bounce and hold on this. Make one and let's see how it turns out. That would make giveaway gifts. Yeah, I got a hold of a website, and they can make them regular, or they can make them with the RGB lighting around the edge. So I think I'm doing that. Everything else lights up. I might as well. Moving on to the S&P. Well, they're red right now. Red right now, but we're at a zone. So Friday at just close to the bell, I bought the dip. I bought some SPY calls. I got to say it was halfway forced trade. So I bought some 580 SPY calls for Friday. So I have all Friday for that to be at 580 or higher, about 585. I want to say I paid $500 for them for each contract. I want to say 585 is where I need to be at. But what I also did was I sold the 587s for tomorrow's expiration. Now I collected 63 or 67 bucks per contract on that. So tomorrow, if SPY is not above 587, I keep all that money, and I might just do that all week and just kind of sell some. I forget the delta. I want to say that was around the 20 deltas that I did. And I might just sell the 20 deltas just to see we can't ease a little bit, unless we just start running and then I don't need to it. May I ask why you bought if we broke the low? Did we break this low right here? Is that what you're asking? Or did we break out of this range? Because you guys have seen me draw these ranges out and I'm talking about these red lines right here. I just can't make them any brighter for you guys. Now, anytime we do this, when we break out, that's likely the way that we're headed. In fact, that's why I was short the NASDAQ last week, was because we did break it. I was like, I'm going short. Time to send it. I wonder if we're going to rein this thing back in. Maybe even check this zone. I feel okay about buying the dip right now, but this kind of has the makings of a bear trap. Okay, so breaking that range, that is a good question, because normally I'd be going short. And maybe this is just an experience thing. Again, been doing this for 13 years now. I don't know if it's that. Maybe I just have a feeling. Maybe I'm just wrong. We did break that out. And 90% of the time, 99% of the time, I'll tell you, it's probably time to just go short. Maybe there's a dead cat bounce, and maybe that's all I take advantage of is a dead cat bounce. Once we do get the green candles, it's up to the bulls to perform, right? They need to show up and do something. If the bulls show up and don't do anything, at that point, no, we're just trending down and we're going for it, which is what I was talking about with my last session in the mentorship group. Is we kind of have these lower highs going on. So let's say we get back in. Maybe this range just sucks. The one thing to take with a grain of salt is this week, right now. This week, right now it's January 12th. This is our first full week in the stock market in a month. Right? Last week we had Carter Week. Before that, it was New Year's. Before that, it was Christmas. There's not been a full week for some time, which does play with the volume on some things. I doubt, Wall Street just took a whole month off, but I'm just curious how many people were jacking around. You're 1 foot out the door on Wednesday when they take Thursday off. You're not coming back on Friday and making any real moves. So we'll see how this pans out. I'm kind of thinking right now we at least catch a bounce. So I'm in that. But more importantly, I'm curious, do we stay below this zone right here? I think if we can get above this zone, then I think we're going to be all right. I think we actually push a little bit higher. Maybe we test the trend line. Maybe we test this zone up here. But that's kind of where my head's at. Ooh, if that doesn't happen, I might have to. If we don't get above this, I'm back short. I personally think the crash is going to happen around March. I'm just not sold on it yet. But the fact that even I'm thinking, hey, is it time to just go short across the board? I want to take off about 30% of my Meta and Tesla positions. So I'm selling the 40, 45 Delta calls. Now, if those get called away, I'm going to let the shares go. But is it time to just sell those now? Because I think I'm going to buy them cheaper later. Why not buy IWM instead? Got hit harder. It's not about how hard it got hit. Just the trade in general. Right now, that ran right into a zone. And I think we're probably a little bit oversold, dead cat bounce. I think regardless, let's say we keep this trend down. My long position is going to be fine, as long as we pop up. We just need to not be down, and I'm good. The expected moves, they are all set up. Let me get that out of here. So for everyone that has my charts, these lines are the expected moves for the week. So the S&P right now for the week, 568 to 592. That's kind of what the market makers are expecting. I'll address these candles really quick right here. These zones are real. These candles are actually just 2022 copied and pasted over here. And I was going over this, how I think we're going to crash in March. I don't think it's going to be like a Rona crash where we just skydive. I think it's going to be a long knockdown, drag out, beat up process where over 2025, that's also, this is why I'm telling you guys, 2025 for me is is it a collection year? What's the accumulation year is the word I was using. I'm buying everything. I'm going to let it sell off. And then when I tell you guys I'm buying everything, I mean, I'm on a game show where I get to push the cart around, just knock whatever I can into the cart. That's what I'm buying. Everyone keeps saying, like, hey, what are you buying? It's all the same stuff that I've been buying forever. I'm just going to buy a lot of it, more of it, and all of 2025. So the more it sells off for me, the better. Jumping into the NASDAQ right now. So this range that we just talked about earlier was we broke out of this range, which is why I went short. I went short the NASDAQ. I also went short Tesla. So I went short the NQ contracts. I was short QQQ puts. There was a couple times I bought the dip and went long NQ, and that panned out pretty well. But mostly, yeah, I was short. It was a great trade. But right now, same thing. NASDAQ ran into that zone, and I'm kind of curious. It just looks like the S&P. I could repeat myself all again, but if you're just tuning in, especially if you're on TikTok, you can just rewind it on YouTube. This chart looks exactly the same. DIA is not Forex. No, DIA is the Dow Jones ETF. Kind of like QQQ is the ETF to the NASDAQ. SPY is the ETF to the S&P. DIA is Grandpa Dow. We can go over that right now. Grandpa Dow. Sorry, here's the futures. Same thing. So we've been very range bound up until Friday. Sorry, all these lines were my last session with my trading group. So one red day inside for forever. And it was just flat, but we were making lower highs. Finally just kicked that door in. This one I would be watching out for a dead cat bounce and probably a continuation. I mean, this is a smooth, just trend down. We hadn't sold off this much since 1978. You know, it's starting to get into the headlines. So they had a green day. You know, we're not here to set records, you know, so we changed it up a little bit. Now we continue back south. Got a little excited. You know, at this point, we're oversold. And as it goes sideways at RSI, not so oversold. Those EMAs start to catch up. We cool off all the indicators, and then we send it again. I don't know. Be a big bear trap everywhere if we somehow push. That's what I think is going on right now, as a matter of fact. Matt, one of my admins, called that out on YouTube chat, and that's what I'm saying. So he says, I've been meaning to ask, when you say it will happen in March, what do you mean? How do you define when it starts and when we're in it? I mean, March, as in there's January, February, March. That's what my calendar says. It's been that way my whole life. And red candles followed by more red candles. All sarcasm aside, this is just a leg down right now. I mean, when you look at a chart like this, that's nothing. Literally nothing. Okay. Any bull that bought over here hasn't even woken up. They don't care. They're not looking at their phones. Nothing. Same with the S&P. Look at that. Literally nothing. We're going to start breaking some key levels. We're going to push up and make lower highs. And right now, I mean, we're on like the daily time frame. We are really zoomed in and analyzing this. We're nitpicking. As traders, it's fine. That's day-to-day stuff, week to week. We will get on a trend down, and it'll show up on the weekly time frame, monthly time frame. Right now, all this is just a dip buy. Look at that. Who would be scared of this chart right now? No one. Buy it up. Why wouldn't you? CNBC is talking too much about a crash for there to be one yet. There's a lot of people talking about a crash right now, which also makes me believe this is probably just a bear trap. When the media comes out, again, just remember it's not what they're telling you, it's what they're selling you. What idea are they trying to push? Right now, it's a bunch of crash. That creates not exit liquidity, that creates entry. So if I'm a big institution, I can go out there and buy everyone that believes that garbage. And as they panic sell their shares, I get to buy it all up. And then I won't have to worry about it because when I buy it all up at that cheap price, they see a green candle, everybody FOMOs back in. They buy all their position back, and then it pushes it up for me. And then I get to sell it again for a real crash. So you make a quick profit right there, drop it all back down. Let's check out the Russell since it got hit harder. No. If I was going to buy the Russell, it would be in this zone right here. And notice it didn't. So to the comment earlier of why not buy the Russell, it got hit harder. We haven't really made it to that zone where the other ones had. Looking at the daily right now, someone did bring up the 50 SMA and how it was holding on a lot of things. And we're kind of challenging that. You know, like today, that could be the thing. Today, Friday was the first day we really kind of got below and closed below. So let's see if we're starting to change that appearance. I'm saying crash in March. Now, I don't care if I'm right, wrong, early, late. I'm gonna I'm just gonna play the charts. These charts right now is everybody voting with their money. Once everybody starts selling, I don't care what there's talking, and then there's money. All right, right. Follow the money, and then just enjoy tea time with the gossip girls. They're two different things. So I forget where I was going with that. Either way, I don't care. Right now, let's see if we start to fade this thing and head south. Let's see if it's a bear trap. Well, personally, I think it's early. That's where I was going. I think it's March. There's plenty of people that think it's now. Some people think it's February. Some people think it's June or July. The writing's on the wall. Just more importantly, there's everyone's opinion, including mine. That's just noise for now. Until it starts showing up and everybody starts selling, you have to just separate the two. Everyone's saying 5% on the 10-year. We did hit new heights. That's the selling excuse. Hopefully. Send it. Am I out of my Tesla puts? I'll tell you right now. I was trailing my Tesla puts. I think I got out of those. That was a great trade. It was very annoying. Okay, I'm out of my Tesla puts. Do you guys want to know how annoying it is? By the way, when you I shared it with my group. So looking at Robinhood you can trade overnight, right? Thursday we were closed. This Friday, January 10th. Oh, so we skipped the 9th. Okay, so Thursday we were closed. It's not on here. Anyway, Robinhood had it green. It was the only. I'm gonna have to pull this up. This is my luck too. It ended up being a great trade. But this is what happens when I go short Tesla. Never fails. Going to give me one hot second. I know it's here. This was supposed to be quicker. It would have been funnier if it was quicker. Here we go. This is what I'm looking at. How is everything? Everything's just red. The one particular ticker I'm short, which means I want it to go down. I'm going to make money if it goes down. Is green. And then in the morning, like it sold off. I'm like, all right, we're looking good. Popped up. This is annoying. Then jumped off the face of the earth, which was great for me. Trailed. Those got out. Actually, that was it. As far as going short Tesla, getting back in that, I think Tesla's actually going to hold right here. I'm not going to go long, but I do kind of want to. If Tesla gets back up to this 420 area, if we do get to one standard deviation up here on Tesla, I'm going to add an alert right there. Then I will get back in short. Lisa says no TikTok tonight, huh? TikTok, you can see me, right? You're here. This is my normal channel. I see Casey's here. Pablo says Goog. I do Goog L because I'm fancier than you. Just kidding. If you are trading, so there's GOOG and GOOGL. Which, side note, really bugs me when there is an ETF that has both of them in there. You know, you'll see everything like 5% Microsoft, 5% NVIDIA, 5% Goog, 5% Goog L. Like that seems a little bit not weighted. Now, that's a 10% holding you have in Google. The L has a little bit more volume and voting rights. Now, whether you vote or not, the more volume part was important to me, which is why I do that one. I don't know your normal channel, but you are here. Jason, I appreciate you. You're the man. This should be my only channel. All right, looking at Google, I'd say this is a buy. Google actually looks pretty good right now, to be honest. Man, if we open up right here on Google, I would actually buy maybe Friday or next Friday's calls. I'd do some one. I'd probably go 194. That's enough out of the money for me. I usually go right at the money, but OCD was kind of kicking in. I don't want to go 190. Let's go then 195, too high. It's like turning the volume on your TV. You can't just leave it on like 13. It's 10 or 15. That's it, you know? Anyway, looking at that, Google clearly has a situation going at 200, but at the same time, might be rocking and rolling here. We do need to zone this out real quick. Horizontal line. Clearly, sellers are here. So when I'm looking at this, guys, we jumped up. Sellers, right? There's an institution that says, hey, turn the algos on when it crosses, I would like to get to 197 for my price. Get out of Google as close as you can at 197. That's your job. Turn the algos on. They're not a big scary monster. So they go in and say, hey, with the standard deviation of this or that, here's your parameters. Start selling. It jumps up to here, start selling. Now we get to this area, you're kind of selling. Get out here, start unloading, sends it. You can see the algo starts to kick on. Okay, and then drops it. At this point, once we leave here, algo turns off. That is Goldman Sachs, whoever it is not selling Google. Get up here again. Maybe they sold a couple shares. Get up here again. They sold a few more. So it depends on how much. Let's just imagine they have to sell 1 million shares. Here's 250,000, 250,000, 249,998. Okay, now we're 750,000 shares of that position exited. So we get up here one more time. There's one more sell order for 250,000 shares, drops it down to here, bounces back up because the buyers just keep getting their friends, right? And now the orders there's no sellers anymore. No one's at that level. Then you finally get the breakthrough. TLDR on what I'm looking at when I look at these charts. So if we hit this zone again, I bet we do sell off one more time. It's just a zone until not. But as we start to creep up into this, I would actually look at Google for a long play right now. How much was it 2 days ago? Are we talking about Google? Pablo says he's got 195 calls for the 17th. I literally just said I wouldn't buy those. But I did look at them. I feel like 195, depending on what you paid for them, I think those are actually going to be all right. Again, I would have had I seen this zone right here, I would have bought the 190s for the 17th. If the markets were open right now and I'm seeing this, I would have bought 190s for the 17th, if not the following week. Just looking for a quick bounce. You bought the 195s. The difference is you bought the 195s, you probably paid $1.50 for them, something like that. So you needed to go to 196.50. It needs to go to that zone just for you to break even. Where I bought it down here, I spent $3. Now we're at 193. By the time we get to your 195, you're at the money. We're talking about how deep mine are in the money. It's a completely different conversation. You're still on the struggle bus of can I make it? Where I can see the red tape. I'm crossing that line. Anyway, everyone has their own way of doing things. That's just what I found to be the most effective. I make the most money doing it that way. I spend a little bit more, but it's really cool because someone can buy like the 196s that they spend a little bit of money, and then Google goes to $200, right? It breaks the standard deviation, which is not mathematically impossible, but not probable, right? As far as the numbers game goes, you're not likely to hit that. You're going to lose 80 times, win a few. Your percentage gain, you're like, oh, I made 1,000%. Yeah, your $3 is going to turn into 30 or 300 if you get really lucky. Where my 500 is going to turn into a couple thousand. I don't necessarily have the 1,000% gains, but I have a lot more money. Am I buying Bitcoin here? I buy Bitcoin every week, Carlos. But if I were to be trading it, I would have bought at that yellow zone right here. So if you think that couple grand difference still has some meat on the bones, I would be more worried about the 99 level right now before I worried about the 102. Wall Street Boots Alliance. I don't know if you get Walgreens, not Wall Street. How many people have bought boots from Walgreens? That's where it's at. You ever just go into that store thinking I need some Tylenol, but you come out with a fresh pair of work boots? I never have, but I feel like with that name, I should. Hey, green candle. I'd probably almost short this thing. Earnings was good. Looks like everyone that came in to buy their medicine left with a bag of gummy worms. Long story short, guys, that was an actual pitch I heard on YouTube from somebody with many more channels, all of them bigger than mine, said their business model is amazing because they put their pharmacy in the back. So when you go to get your medicine, you got to walk through all the aisles and you probably pick something up. Like you got sticky fingers and you got to pay for it, which is literally, by the way, everyone's business model, strategic placement. Anyway, that was the pitch to buy Walgreens. And if you did, that's what your money looks like. Just going down and down and down. Don't worry, they pay a dividend. For every $15 you lose, you'll get 25 cents. Hey, that's where it's at. Occasionally, I have a green day we can talk about, not that you're up, but how much less red you are. Anyway, all jokes aside, gapped into that zone, sent it. I wouldn't short Walgreens, but I would be tempted to. I mean, honestly, if it was up to here and I was looking for a short play and just, yeah, that'd be where it's at. Probably go short at 12.50. For me to go short something, like I'm short General Motors right now, Government Motors. Burn that thing to the well. I guess I don't have to make that threat because they'll probably do it themselves. You know, I'm picky. Most volume in history the last couple of months. In history or like year to date? Like how far does that history actually span? Could be a buy low if you did a fundamental analysis. Could be. But see, the thing with fundamentals and technicals, right? Fundamentals, you hope things line up. Now, fundamentals have their place in things. If I was going to buy Wall Street and why do I keep calling it Wall Street? Walgreens and hold it for 5 years, then I would want to look into the numbers a little bit. But right now, I don't need to look in the numbers because I know if I buy this, more than likely, my numbers are just going to be piss poor and go down. Now, I do this to make money, not to talk about how I would make money had it turned around, but I need everybody else to buy this. So let's say you do your analysis, all right? You run your Monte Carlo or whatever you think it's going to be. You look at someone's website and their projections. You join their Patreon and they said it's going to be a $48 stock in 2040, or who knows how long it takes to get there. Whatever the reason being, I don't care. It's not to be mean, but I got plenty of time. Right, I can wait for this thing to turn around and then buy. I mean, case in point, I could have not had the need to do any analysis. We literally just crossed the 50 SMA. I don't even use indicators, but hey, at least we got that. We're doing good there. We got above it. We pulled back. We stayed on top. If you're an indicator person, that looks good. We're gonna ignore just right back here. Where it literally did the exact same thing. You could just rewind it and hear the same thing again. It got above here, pulled back, and stayed on top. And then anyway, fell back below. But we tried it again. Round 2. Got on top. Stayed on top. Maybe third time's the charm. I can make fun of this a lot because more than likely it's going to keep doing what it's been doing. And it's had these green days and then it just comes right back down. Let's bring up extended hours. Okay. So hang tight and we'll see. Now, I'm making fun of, not necessarily making fun of what you guys just said. The most volume in history is an intriguing thing. That tells me something might be changing. But when I give a response, I have to assume you're going to take that advice to every ticker. Now, if the most volume's coming in, and this is going to be the absolute best ticker out there, the bird flu just killed somebody out here in Kansas City where I'm at. First case where it died. And now the vaccines are going to come back. We already have a bird flu. Let's make another one, a bird flu times 2, a 2.0 bird flu vaccine. And you have to take it or your job is going to fire you. And everyone on Facebook will hate you if you don't. But then they will later if you do, one of those. And then it sends it. Right? We got time. It's going to push up. It's going to pull back because what it's not going to do is gap to $48. We're not going to wake up Monday morning and see it all the way up here. Now, who cares if I bought it at 4? Let's say it pushes to 18, pulls back to 14, and that's what I get in. You bought it now on some hype. You own it at 11.68, and I bought it at 14 after it pushed up and pulled back. A little bit more price action kind of thing, right? The volume wasn't necessarily there, but now the actions are starting to match the words. Then I buy it. I own it a couple bucks higher than you. Let's say it pushes to $35. You bought it at 11, I bought it at 14. Okay, or just shy of 12. You made $2 more a share on me, but you put up, I would say, significantly a lot more risk. Not to say that there is a safe play, but I'm saying on plays like this, what you brought up and the volume and all that would be the reason to have a conversation about it, not a reason to buy. I'm glad I didn't jump on Boots on Friday. It just kept going up for a little bit. Glad I didn't jump on Boots. Oh, were you going to short it? Is AMD a buy at 115? Depends on your time frame. You think it's going to go up this week? Maybe. I think I am bullish this week for now. I think that's get an oversold bounce. If I'm going to buy and hold it, and I do want to buy more AMD, I'm going to wait to this 105 mark. When it gets to that zone, that's when I'll be looking at buying. Jason Fritz, he followed me. What's happening, man? What's the difference between Goog L and Goog? I got Goog calls. I don't know if it makes any difference. When did you ask that? Because I did answer that question. Goog L has more volume and voting rights as far as the shares. As far as your options go, huge difference as far as volume goes. If you're trading Google options, ditch Goog. Once you get out of this trade, do what you can on this trade. But yeah, Goog L has much more volume as far as options go. Legendly, AMD was a buy at 145. I'm buying it, and I'm buying more. I don't care what anybody says. I would love to see an explanation on vertical spreads and why credit or debit is better. Okay. Do you want to buy or do you want to collect? Let's take this case in point. Let's do a $10 spread on this. I'll do it right now for you. Let's do a $10 spread for this Friday. What's this Friday, the 17th? Boom, there we go. All right, we're going to do a $10 spread. So we're going to sell the 120. We are going to buy the 110. Boom. Now, this is a credit spread. This is an in-out spread. So if I was going to buy a call, this is the call I would buy that's in the money, expiration the 17th. I would sell this one for this Friday. Now, that's a spread. So on a $10 spread, I should spend about $5. Now, there's a $10 difference right at the money. In-out spreads where it gets its name. I'm going to spend $500. Now, if I buy this and it goes up to 120 or higher, then I make $500. $10 spread, I will make $10 in the options world. That's $1,000. But I spent $500, so my total profit's going to be $500. That's if I buy the call side. Okay, now I could switch gears if I wanted to, and I could sell the puts. That was a debit spread, by the way. This would be a credit spread. So I'm going to sell this put, and then I'm going to buy this one. That's your insurance. What am I going to do? I'm going to collect $500. And then my idea as far as a credit is I want to keep all that money. So if it shoots up to here, I keep $500. It's literally the same thing. You're just on the put side now. You'll make the same. It will move the same. Just depends on how you position it. Yeah, I don't know if they're like Cody says, credit or debit is two different plays. One isn't better. Yeah, it's just which side of the options chain you're going to be on. If I'm bullish, then I could buy the call spread, the first one we did, or I could sell the puts, which is this one. If I'm bearish, I would buy this put, sell this put. It's going to cost me $500, and if it gets down to 110 or lower, I make $500. And then again, if I switch these up a little bit, because I'm bearish, then I would sell this call. I always get backwards. I buy the put. Yeah, so I would sell this call, buy this call. Yeah, that way if it goes down here, I still make $500. I wouldn't overthink it. AMD at 98, that's where you want it at. The 100 mark, and looks like 95. That's going to be where I'm buying. How much do I have to make a day with Apex? How much do I have to make a day with Apex Prop Firm? You'd have to call them. I don't know. I trade with real money. What do I think about AMD? Right now, I'm kind of bullish on the week. So as a scalp trade, I think we might be a little oversold. And I would worry about the 120 mark. I would worry about hitting that zone and rejecting. But as a hold, AMD is my top one that I'll be buying this year. Cody says AMD is sure on its way to 98 right now. BBWI puts this week. Bath and Body. That's still a company, huh? Man, I'm going to end up selling people on the 50 SMA. I got to take that off. So I call this the candy cane pattern. Just kind of, we're pushing up, we're doing good. The momentum starts to die off. It's like a plane playing rocket. If a plane just takes off and goes up, it runs out of thrust. There's only so high it can go, right? And it hits that, just starts to lose it, and then we start to fade that thing right back down. Top Gun style, goose dies. That's spoiler alert. If I'm buying puts, I would go risking capital, which means 0 to hero. I would probably end up buying the 36 or the 35, and it makes me money or not. Some loser on Wall Street bets has 900,000 in BlackBerry calls this week. Where do those guys come up with these ideas? Tesla in a zone? Let's talk about Tesla in a zone. It is. I do think Tesla's going to bounce right here. When it gets to 420, this is my alert. Not because of 420. That's just where it lines up. I'm gonna go short Tesla, more than likely, unless futures are just on an absolute rip it mode and send it. I very much am interested in getting back into a short position on Tesla. I don't think this is it. I think we're just kind of starting to spike down. I think it's going to pop back up, and then we're gonna go short. Right now, I'm in SPY calls. Saucy says it's not calls, it's shares. Which one? Oh, short DAL, Delta Airlines. I don't know if I would argue that one. Okay, so what's BlackBerry's ticker? Is it BB? BlackBerry. 900,000. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Now, this is a very popular pump and dump stock. Man, that nerd is, I don't know if I can call him a nerd yet. He's going to turn that 900,000 into 3 million. Here's what's going to happen. I made 3 million, 3.5. Look at me go. I'm a hero. 50,000. Just watch. Yeah, full send. Hopefully it sends it. I don't ever want anybody to lose. I don't care if I think your play is absolute trash and dumb. I'll tell you that because if you want my opinion, I'll give it to you. But sincerely, I hope everybody – I love making money on stupid plays. That's the best one. Took no brain cells. You made a bunch of money. Who doesn't like going to a slot machine hitting the jackpot? It's the sitting at the slot machine that's the problem. Chart looks like it wants to pump, actually. Right now, it doesn't look bad. If it could catch some momentum and get above that 450 mark, I think you're going to struggle just shy of that 6. But I wonder how many momentum traders start to get on board and really send that thing. That BlackBerry trade reminds me of the 900,000 trade someone took on MicroStrategy. Yeah. Moment of silence for that guy. RIP. Which SPY calls, man? I'm in 580 for this Friday. And then I sold the 587s expiring tomorrow against that. Kind of like a little baby calendar spread. And by kinda, I mean that's exactly what it is. Let's do a couple more. What's NVIDIA doing? Are the chips going to get a break this week? Actually, I'll tell you what I am doing. So I want to sell. I'm going to sell the 45 deltas. I'm hoping tomorrow Tesla pops up. If Tesla does pop up, I will say before lunchtime, because there's like a lunchtime turnaround. Let's say tomorrow is green. I'm going to sell the 45 deltas on Tesla calls for this Friday. And I'm not going to roll it. If it gets above that, I'm going to sell my shares at that price. I'm going to let go of 30% of my Tesla and Meta position. Meta is my top position. Tesla is my second position. I don't know if I'll sell any NVIDIA. NVIDIA's third. I didn't really load up on NVIDIA like I did these two. NVIDIA just kind of did well on its own and was just hanging with them anyway. But these I do think I want to let go. So same story for Meta as well. If Meta has a green day tomorrow, I'll sell the 40 deltas and then let them go if it hits that. Would you call yourself a discretionary trader? I don't know. I don't know if I'd call myself anything. I buy when it makes sense and I sell when it makes sense. And I come on here and talk about it. I don't know. What would you guys call me? Donnie's in the 582s for February 14th. You got some time on those. Let's do. Oh, we got to do MU and XRP, and then we'll call it. Let's see, Micron. We're just very horizontal. We're smack dab in the middle. If I were to do this, I would go long just because I am bullish this week. We'll call that a bull flag, but I'm not putting my stop here in this zone. If I didn't have any zones on here, I would go long. My stop would be right below this red wick. It would be 95.85. If you know anything about my zones, you probably don't want to put your stop in there anyway. So I would put my stop at 93.85. So I would go long right now at 99, put my stop at 93. So we're $6 a share. And then hopefully we send it to this. I would have to worry about this 110 area. And looking at it, kind of very horizontal. And we're right in the middle, so it ends up being a 50-50 trade because it's horizontal and selling knots. Like I'm buying MU down here, tightening up my stops, looking to sell up here. So I would be long that. McLovin says, money, man. Do I play any earnings? Yeah, but I play earnings with the same energy I would go to a casino with blackjack money. It goes up, it goes down. You know, all earnings, this is a binary event. There's going to be an announcement. The stock's going to react up or down. Sometimes it just does a little bit of both, and everybody loses on the options chain. So if you guys ever hear me talk about an earnings play and something I'm in, if it gets crushed, goes to zero, there is no, haha, you got it wrong, like some people like to do. It won't hurt me. I sleep like a baby. If your allocation doesn't reflect that, that tells me you're probably a newer trader. I don't care what kind of win streak you've ever been on with earnings. You just haven't been on a losing one yet. XRP. Now, since I guess I would have to be bullish Bitcoin because at the bottom of that range. If Bitcoin catches any kind of hype, I think XRP could go for it. So I would be bullish XRP right now. In fact, if I didn't have any, this is not financial advice. And just remember that, guys, I trade with my money and you trade with your money. Right? Don't be silly. My name is NasDaddy. I do go by NasDaddy. That's an alias of mine. But seriously, don't piss your money away because something you heard somebody say online. Just make sure you understand what you're getting into. If I wasn't an XRP, I would buy some right now. Full stop would be $1.85. Check keg. Okay, for real, last one. Lisa's buying calls on this. My chat knows exactly what I just said. Lisa, tell me you're buying calls right now. Is that in your call out tonight? Energy Corporation. I actually am kind of bullish energy for the year. You could probably get a better buy on this, though. $300 ticker, you're getting 30 cents. 35 cents on that dividend. All right, it beats NVIDIA, not by much. Real quick, I do want to talk about this real fast. Imagine you had the option to buy KEG or WBA. Now, for everyone that's new here, I know someone said I'm an acquired taste. I'm not funny. I'm very dry. I get it. But let's talk about you're going to take this advice over the next 100, 1,000 trades. The person who goes out and buys Walgreens Boots Alliance is going to lose all their money versus the person who buys KEG, who arguably could be chasing right now. But historically, let's say I'm going to bag hold both of them. Whoever bought the peak here, yeah, it sucked for them right here. But then now they're doubled their money. They're up. Matt says Walgreens all day. So I don't know. Right now, I would wait for a dip buy. Personally, I don't like buying bright green candles. I like to buy the red ones. I like to go short on the green ones. With a chart like this, I wouldn't be interested in going short. Come sub on YouTube, Don Franz Show. We'd love to have you. I appreciate that. I haven't checked it. So, is TikTok? I haven't kept up. TikTok's not going anywhere. But if it does, just for all you TikTok people out there, this is on YouTube, by the way. Don Franz. I have two channels: Don Franz Show, Don Franz Trading. Show is going to have some more AI stuff on it. But yeah, if it does go away, you can jump on here. I have both chats up. I can see it all. But I have to wrap it up. If you guys do ever check out the Patreon link for Sundays and Thursdays. I actually do a Zoom call with everybody so I can see their faces. So if you ever want to check that out, please do. Tier 1, you get to see all the plays that I call out. Tier 2, you get to see all my plays and Mike's plays, which he beat me by like that much. He only beat me because I was in AMD and AMD went down. Anyway, he's killing it on Tier 2, and he goes live Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tier 3, you get all of that, and then I go live every night before the market opens. So I'm going to wrap it up. Check me on there if you want. Everyone else, if you're in the group, I'll see you guys in Zoom in 2 seconds. Have a good one, everybody.